Morning, this is Sifu Slim, and I am here in Burnsville, I believe.
Yeah,
Burnsville, New Jersey. I grew up about half an hour away in Tewksbury past Oldwick, and it's wonderful to be back in this historic area. There are lots of old buildings. The railroad track is the main line that went from New York to Pennsylvania. And there are lots of people who come here for the history, for the small town flavor, and you're not too far from New York. So if you have the job in the big city, you can still pull it off. And Billy is a competitor and a gym manager, owner, fantastic. And so at a young age, you picked up the fitness craze, and then you said, hey, this is a good thing for me to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I got addicted early.
How did you decide to get involved with the ownership and the business side of things?
Well, I wanted a way to reach a broader range of people. You know, as a trainer, working in a gym, you have your clients, but as a gym owner, you could have, trainers working for you, and you can also do training yourself, so you can reach a broader audience.
And you can support the people who are working on the training, and the connections and the questions they have with their clientele. You can sit down and go over those things with them and make sure everyone's on the right track, and you can keep learning in that process as well.
Absolutely, always learning. You know how it is.
Yeah. So I'm Sifu Slim, and Billy just met me a short while ago, and so Sifu, you've seen Kung Fu Panda probably.
Yeah.
So the teacher, the father teacher, and then the joke on me is differently than Billy, who builds bulk. How you doing? You want to say hi to the YouTube audience here?
Hey, YouTube.
Who are you?
I'm Nick.
Oh, there's Nick. We just froze. Come back. The internet just froze. I don't know if somebody's downloading a movie. All right, we're back. So the Sifu idea is it's interesting that I've been into fitness before Billy has been on the planet, and I am still built like Gilligan. And so I say that I'm Jacqueline mixed with Bruce Lee. So I did a lot of martial arts in my life, trapped inside the body of Gilligan.
Yeah, that looks about right.
And when I start doing level planks, which is being on the plank and going up through a upward plank and going back down, a lot of my friends go, how do you do that? I said, well, let's do some of these. And we start doing them, and I'll do 30. That's kind of my normal routine. It's not easy, but I do 30. And they're dying after 15, even with these broad shoulders and what have you. And the key is, probably most of it's in the mind. I know that I can do them because I've been doing them for a number of years. What is your best exercise, Billy?
Probably what you just said right there. The level plank, level, up and down, up and down. That's a great exercise.
And so I'm at 6'2½", kind of stretched out, and I'm 170. How about your height and weight?
About 5'8", 170.
170.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you've got 5'8", so you're a little taller than Jacqueline. You're about an inch taller than Bruce Lee, and 170. And Bruce Lee was like 145, 150. Jacqueline probably about the same. And those guys were really built for fitness and what they did. And probably did pretty well sitting in chairs. I don't do well sitting in chairs. How do you do?
No, I don't like it at all.
The whole kinetic chain and stabilizing yourself in those positions, and then kind of collapsing the lower back. Some people collapse the shoulders. I tend to collapse the lower back and go like this, and then have to wake myself up and get back into a good position. What do you find helpful for people for sitting?
Just keeping your chest up, shoulders back, and plant yourself flat against the back of the chair.
The lower back flat against, and the whole back. Maybe.
Yeah. I think even when you're driving, just always keep that in mind. Chest up, shoulders back.
I'm drinking right now these hemp seeds that I got in Germany, and I put them right in my water. There's a cinnamon stick in there, and the hemp seeds have a lot of properties, but one of them is anti-inflammatory. And I have a back. I think I slept funny, but I'm predisposed to right around the pelvic girdle here, having some back issues, and they pop up on occasion. So I don't stop living. I just try to work with them as best I can. And then sometimes it takes chiropractic, sometimes just the right sleep or the anti-inflammation, like I'm doing here, and it goes away, and then I'm back to 100% or 98%, something like that. How are you doing right now on a 100% level, being pain-free and fully functional.
Yeah, little jiggles here and there, but overall, between 90 and 95%.
Right now, you're 90 to 95.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So interestingly, in this book I wrote called The Aging Athlete, I interviewed MMA legend Ken Shamrock, who's my age. He's a big guy, and he's done a lot of hardcore training. And what he used to do in his gym in Modesto, California, just south of Sacramento, is he would training in general, and then also training for competitions. He would push himself past his limits. I mean, extreme athlete. And just to be in his gym, you had to do a field test that was as bad as the Green Berets do, just to be in it. You had to show you had the heart and the guts and the physicality to do those workouts. So he talks about that in some of his YouTube videos in his book. And then for his own training, he did not slack off. He'd be in there at 220, let's say, and he'd bring in guys that were that big or bigger, and he would have new, fresh people every 20 minutes. Imagine doing that for 3 hours of grappling and ground fighting and even stand-up. So you're grabbing the guy in the back of the head, throwing kicks into a mat, you're just a padding, you're just going at it. And he did that so frequently and with such endurance that he said he was always pulling muscles and he always had joint issues. And so when I asked him the ultimate question, which was how many times were you 100% when you went into one of your 40 or 50 fights, guess what he said? Never. You got it. Billy nailed it. So people, you probably know it from here, the people who train hard always have, extremely hard, always have an issue.
Yeah, you always have little stuff that bothers you here and there. Mm-hmm. But you do things like you're doing right now,
you can persevere through that.
Yeah, push through it. And then it's smart, be smart about it.
Be smart. So you seem like, we're frozen again here. It looks like we have plenty of internet, so what's going on? We're back. So would it be correct to assess you as a calm demeanor person?
Yeah, very calm.
Very calm.
Very level.
Very level. And I would say that I am as well. And it's a pleasure to be around me when I'm by myself, because I'm not going up and down. How about you? Do you hang up on your own quite a bit?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I do. Perfectly happy.
So when I'm writing books, I'm hanging out by myself all the times that I'm at the end of my writing time, I'm hoping that I stumble across somebody else so I can get some human interaction and some camaraderie. And by and large, it happens. I kind of have open karma, and so people who are out there tend not to be afraid and tend to open up when I introduce myself. That's probably good to have when you're in the gym, being able to be approachable, right?
Oh yeah, plenty of people have said they enjoy the atmosphere in here. It's nothing like they would expect. It's more calm and inviting and educational and not intimidating.
So when I was talking to Billy about my first website, which was maintenanceworkout.com, I said that it surprised me just 9 years ago, 2008, that it was available in the modern era. And my guess was it was because so many people had gotten out of shape and they needed to transform themselves, or athletes wanted higher performance than they already had, so they wanted more of a sports-specific higher performance training center. So the maintenance is what most of us need, because when we graduate high school, that's usually, in my era, when we had PE 5 days a week, that's usually the best fitness people were ever going to be in. And so my goal at that point was to take that age 18 and add on to it. So what happened to me is I added on, I went more high performance, and it was 3 or 4 years it took me to realize that I kept, getting stiff joints. I kept getting loose. I'm a golfer and tennis player, so I kept getting kind of clunky. So I said, maybe this 24-hour fitness type stuff and the overload training is not what I should be doing. Maybe also my physique, not a good thing. So I went back to age 18 stuff, not trying to put on bulk and double my bench press and those types of things, but I went back into maintaining my age 18. And now at 54, I still have cartwheels. I still do handstands. I do a lot of body weight bar exercises. I do running. I do sprints. I do dancing. I do crawling. I go to martial arts centers, this type of thing. But it's really to maintain that age 18 self, which out of the guys I graduated high school and the girls I graduated high school, I would say that I'm in the top 2, because I've been to a couple of reunions, and there were many better athletes than I was back in the day. But how many people spend an hour or two every day in the morning, and then stretching throughout the day and stretching before they go to sleep throughout the aging process. Not many. I mean, they have different priorities with the aging process. What are your thoughts, Billy?
Well, I agree. The maintenance, that's the hardest thing to do. You can lose, you can go through the transformation, but what do you do once you achieve your goal? Where do you go from there? You're kind of lost.
So you think it's a mindset thing?
Yeah, I think it's a mindset. I think it's always having a plan. Say you go through a transformation, you reach your goal. Before you reach your goal, I would say you need to have a plan for when you reach your goal. So what to do afterwards. So then all of a sudden you don't let 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks go by, and you're kind of working out here and there, you don't have a set plan. So set a goal, create your plan, and always keep evolving.
Evolving that plan, that goal. So you're at what age currently, Billy?
39.
39. So that's a really pivotal age, because age 40 and up, you're a different cat than you were in your 30s. And we've seen that in many sports. Triathletes are one of the rare athletes who tend to peak in their late 30s and even in their early 40s. It's not historically, it's not a 28-year-old, 26-year-old person's sport, but that could change tomorrow. We don't know what the future holds.
Yeah, nutrition's always changing, so it's always evolving. Mm-hmm. Look at Tom Brady.
Yeah, exactly. He's how old now?
40.
40. Yeah. And he think he can go another 3 years. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it's amazing.
So the Tom Brady that the audience probably knows, but if you haven't heard this, when in the last several years especially, I don't know about 15, 20 years ago and when he was in college years, but when he goes to a happy hour with the people in his entourage and his players and what have you, he orders water. I don't know if he's putting what I put in the water, but at the happy hour, he orders water. Maybe he puts a lemon. Maybe he puts a lemon in there, and he drinks that while people in his entourage might be partying to let off some steam. We'll come back here in a second. There you go. So Tom Brady, a health person and a focused person. Anything else that you think of on Tom Brady? Talented.
Very talented. So he sleeps very well.
Sleep?
Very important for Tom.
On the list of all the things of pastimes in the world, where do you rank sleep as being the highest priority and fun, most enjoyable on your list of pastimes?
I don't like sleep.
You don't?
No, I don't.
You like getting things done?
Yeah, I like getting things done. I keep moving.
We revealed Billy's personality. I would guess you're a doer.
Yeah.
You like accomplishment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I do too. I do too. But when my body says I can't read anymore, like last night I'm reading, not my book, but I was reading another book, and finally it's just going like this, and I got to hit the light and get to sleep. So that to me is a high. My fitness is a high, so it's not work normally. If I did one of your classes and I had to concentrate on a new thing, then it would be work. But eventually, once I learned your program and I was comfortable, it would just be part of me, and it would be almost like a trance state. And if you think of Bruce Lee and doing his movement, it's like a trance. It's not some new thing. It's part of him, right? And it's like a squirrel with a nut. It's just part of their program. So for me, sleeping is the same as my fitness. It's something I get high doing. It's that beautiful rest and peace from all the busyness that's been going on in my brain throughout the day. Maybe you can think about that next time you're not wanting to go to sleep because you got more work to do. So I shut it off. Billy, tell us about your thought 10 years ago on maintenance, and now if judging from the people you work with who are trainers and the people you train, what it is to reset people on the idea of maintenance and being level with some kind of a sustainable program.
10 years ago, I never thought about maintenance. It was always improve. But I found that maintenance is very important. I said before, it's the hardest thing to do. You can reach your goal, but then what do you do once you reach your goal? How do you maintain that? If you want to maintain it. You always want to improve, of course, but when you go through an extreme transformation, improvement will be very minimal. It won't be as drastic as when you first started.
So it's interesting that with fitness, perhaps it's because we're disconnected. It's only been 2 generations or so that we haven't had physical jobs, most of us. Our grandparents and our great-greats are all doing physical things. Even the people who worked in an office or a small business 100 years ago often walked to work, walked home, walked flights of stairs, put a sack of potatoes over their shoulder, built things, gutted hogs. I mean, there was a lot of physicality, even if they had a small business type job, like at running a general store or something. They're lugging stuff and they're on their feet quite a bit. So now we've got this new era where we're both sitting right now. I just left the car where I was sitting for half an hour, and Billy was here at his computer, was doing some sitting. So that's something that people who are into fitness, we hope that we can handle better than the average person. But if we had to work 10 or 12 hours, counting the commute, in a sedentary sitting position, computer, books, whatever it was, somebody who takes the tickets at the museum sitting, whatever it is, that would be a big challenge for you and I to handle something like that, right? Where we,
yeah, we have to adjust to that.
Because you're out on bars probably stretching and doing work and demonstrating moves.
Yeah.
You go for runs in the area here?
Yeah, I do.
So you're getting your blood flowing and your brain's decompressing, and so you've got the program. But the poor people who have somebody cracking the whip to get that report done on their computer, or an architect, get that design done, it's a whole different world. So we do, as trainers, understand your predicament. What are your ideas for somebody who has that long day? Can they come in at the end of that long day when they're really brain fried and physically, wired, kind of, not as much tired like you and I might be if we're physical, but wired at the end of the day where they just don't want to move a muscle? How do they handle we're taking snapshots.
There.
How do they handle going through? I mean, you've had people come in and probably almost cry telling you what their average day is. How do you start with someone like that? Do you start with just listening and kind of absorbing that painfulness that they're going through?
Yeah, I just listen and I'll ask questions, and mostly just listen. And then while they're talking, we're moving the whole time.
You're doing it as you're moving.
Yeah, as we're working out, going from exercise to exercise, we're talking, or they're talking, I'm listening, and eventually just work through it. But just listen.
So that's, I guess once they're in here, they've already decided that they're going to make that program work no matter what their schedule is. Have you ever had appointments where there are people who say, I just don't know how I'm going to do it? What do you advise?
Yeah, we're so flexible that we have had that issue many times. So we work with them. Yeah, we set a permanent schedule, or we go week to week. Someone's traveling, the schedule's always changing. They want to come morning or they come night. We make it work for them.
I worked in Paris in banking right when I got out of college, and there was a guy in my office who was petite. He would have, if he just ate too much, he would have been heavy. So he had like a bone structure to put on weight, but he was thin, like in between you and I probably right now in terms of tissue on his bones. But he was such a gifted runner. Some people are born to run. Some people are born to put on muscle. Schwarzenegger is one of them. He's also got an incredible brain for how to train and how hard to push the body. Very smart individual. I think besides unbelievable genetics, he had probably the smartest brain, he and Frank Zane, of the people in his era of training. And so that's my hats off to Schwarzenegger. But some of these people, they are just natural at running. And so this person, he was a manager of a division next to mine, and he told me, I only run on Sundays, but when I go, I really go. And so he ran for an hour at a pace like me doing probably my best mile pace. That would be his running pace for an hour, because he's a gifted runner, and that's what got him through the week. And amazingly enough, his brain responded. He did walk steps to go into the office, and we worked in a really big building. He didn't walk the whole 40 floors, but he walked several flights before he come back from lunch and those types of things, trying to keep himself moving. But for him, once a week was how he was able to keep his athleticism going and his mind decompressing. Have you ever heard somebody just doing once a week?
Yeah, the Weekend Warriors.
The Weekend Warriors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people come once.
And so you have to roll with what you've got, some of these people.
Yeah, you do what you got to do. You know, some people come here once, not many, maybe one or two, well, one session a week.
One session.
And then we tell them what to do when they're not here. You know, they only come once because of maybe their schedule or
Distance or whatever.
yeah, for whatever reason.
Can you show us what you're eating, Billy?
Oh, that's Nick's.
That's Nick's.
Mine's
Yours in the refrigerator?
yeah, it's in my cooler back here.
In the cooler. So I'm very pleased to have connected with Billy today. Your website, Billy?
It's fitnesstogether.com/basking-ridge.
fitnesstogether.com/Basking Ridge. Are we in Basking Ridge or Burnersville?
We're in Berners Township, but this is Basking Ridge.
Basking Ridge.
The town, yeah.
And the train stop up here, is that the Burnersville stop or the Basking Ridge stop?
That's Basking Ridge.
Basking Ridge, got it. So we're in suburbia from New York. We're about, what, 35 miles?
Yeah, about 35 miles.
35 miles from New York City.
Take you an hour and a half, though.
Yeah, because of the modern era, there are 9 million people I found in New Jersey. I guess when I was growing up here, might have been 4 or 5 million, but it was in the 60s and 70s the most densely populated state in the nation, and it still is. But the population, I don't know how long this has been going on, but the population is declining. You've heard that about New Jersey?
Really? I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I heard that in this recent trip. So we wish all of you people, wherever you are, the best in your health and wellness. And I'm going to try to break out what little forearm I have here to give the good grip. Look at that, guy. I don't think I'm going to be. Well, we broke down. Let's hold that till we come back. I'm still. Oh, there we go. So I am not arm wrestling. I'm just doing a very macho handshake right here with Billy, and that's as far as I'm going to push it today. And maybe when Billy's 54, he'll find some young galoot who's got the big arms, and he'll just be pushing it to a little limit. So there you are. Peace out, and we'll talk to you soon.
Cool. Thank you.